Vincent D'Onofrio is back as Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin in the MCU, and he is back and bigger than ever, both literally and figuratively as well. We, of course, got the return of this character, whether it is the same version from the Netflix Daredevil show or just a slightly different multiversal variant. Either way, we got him back in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. I know a lot of people weren't really happy with that version of the character, but hopefully we'll get redemption in his upcoming appearances in the Echo Disney Plus series, as well as Daredevil Born Again as well. And we've been hearing some rumors about some other projects he may be involved in. I just made a video yesterday about his possible involvement in Spider-Man 4, which is now rumored as well, as we start to hear more about that MCU Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. Getting really excited for that one and his possible involvement there. And we'll talk about that a little bit here in this video as well. But today, guys, we got some really exciting stuff to talk about when it comes to Kingpin, because basically he is being set up for a great, huge future in the MCU, because we got some new reports today from the Cosmic Circus, of course, a very reliable source. They are reporting some really interesting details about Kingpin in the MCU. So they just released an article called "What I Heard This Week: Vincent D'Onofrio's Future as Kingpin in the MCU." And they always, every once in a while, release these "What I Heard This Week" articles, which reveal some quite interesting tidbits each and every single time. And today we're talking about Kingpin, and the big thing mentioned here is that apparently going forward, Kingpin's kind of storyline that he's going to be focusing on is he's going to be running for mayor of New York City, which is something we've heard a little bit about in the past. In recent months here, we've heard that rumored before, but it's going to be like a big thing. It's not going to be just in Daredevil Born Again. This is going to be a multi-project spanning storyline, and there's going to be a lot of crossover with these storylines. So this is actually going to be based on a very recent comic event by the name of Devil's Reign, where in that comic storyline, Wilson Fisk, he runs for mayor, he becomes mayor, and basically his major goal as mayor, and the thing that kind of wins him over with the public, is that he is trying to get rid of vigilantes. So all of these grounded street level heroes, his goal is to take them off the map. And, it's a very similar thing to what we've seen happen with the Dark Avengers in the comics when Norman Osborn assembled those. The villains are seen in this heroic light, and the actual heroes are seen in this villainous light and are being hunted down by these villains who are working for the law, whereas the heroes are supposedly against the law. So Wilson Fisk, he's going to be running for mayor, and I'm assuming elected as mayor as well. And we actually just got our first set photo from Daredevil Born Again, our first look at Wilson Fisk, and he looks very, very fancy here. Like, he looks very mayoral, so definitely quite interesting. But I love this idea, because this is basically setting up Kingpin to be the Thanos of the street level MCU. Obviously, right now we have Kang, Kang the Conqueror. He's going to be the big bad villain of the multiverse saga. Obviously, the next Avengers movie is called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, and we're getting Kang in Avengers: Secret Wars. We'll see where all this Jonathan Majors drama goes. I'll make a video about it at some point when we get more concrete details on that. But we got Kang for the kind of cosmic multiversal side of things. But I like this idea of having also a street level villain as well, because when you have all these smaller characters like Spider-Man, like Daredevil, like a Captain America, She-Hulk, all these characters where, sure, they can be in Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, but really, what is Hawkeye gonna do against Kang the Conqueror? So I like when you do some smaller stuff like this. Me personally, I actually even prefer the more grounded street level characters and villains like this. And Kingpin is the perfect character, because this is going to really show how big of a threat he really is, not only to Daredevil, not only to Echo, not only to Hawkeye, but all of these other heroes that we know and love as well. So I think this is just absolutely a great idea. But let's talk about how this is going to affect these characters and what characters may actually be involved here. Some of the ones that this article does confirm. Starting off with, the obvious one, Daredevil. We know Kingpin, he's going to be in Daredevil Born Again. They're arch enemies from the comics, from the Netflix series. Of course, this is going to be the hardcore, top matchup here is Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, and that's the obvious one. But this, of course, will include all of the kind of Daredevil offshoots as well. Like Punisher, we know John Bernthal is coming back in Daredevil Born Again. That was confirmed recently a few weeks ago. So that's going to be super exciting to see. Get some rematches there, Punisher versus Kingpin. Just imagine how cool that is going to be. We also have Echo, as I mentioned before. Kingpin is going to be in the Echo Disney Plus series. He's basically her adopted father. Get kind of the aftermath of what happened at the end of the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. But maybe even the Defenders as well. There's nothing mentioned specifically about this in the article. They don't talk about Jessica Jones or Luke Cage or Iron Fist, but I'm assuming at least at some point we will get the Defenders back in the MCU, whether they are all played by the same actors or not. We do not know, but I definitely feel like if this team is assembled by the time we get the climax of this event, then the Defenders would definitely be involved here as well. But bringing it over to the Hawkeye side of things, again, technically the MCU debut of Kingpin, this version of Kingpin played by Vincent D'Onofrio, was in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. So, when you look at this lineup of like, all right, Daredevil and Spider-Man and Echo and Punisher and Hawkeye, like Hawkeye is the one that kind of sticks out there as like the sore thumb, because like Hawkeye versus Kingpin. But when you go back to the Disney Plus series, especially specifically for Kate Bishop, like you have that rivalry where Kate Bishop is the one that defeated Kingpin. So obviously he's going to have a grudge against her, and you really can't get more grounded than Hawkeye. Both Clint Barton and Kate Bishop. In this article, the four heroes that are mentioned are Daredevil, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and Spider-Man. So both Hawkeyes are seemingly going to be involved here. It seems like Jeremy Renner is having a pretty good recovery so far from, of course, the snowplow accident. So that's going to be great to see. Always love to get some more Hawkeye. So I think this is it makes sense to have this type of matchup. But, the big one that everybody's talking about, obviously we love Kingpin versus Daredevil, but Kingpin versus Spider-Man. Again, I made that video yesterday about Kingpin being in Spider-Man 4. It just makes sense. It is an age-old matchup, just as famous as Daredevil and Kingpin. Also, as I mentioned in that video yesterday, you go back to the 90s cartoons, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Kingpin was the main villain of that show. He's the one that originally assembled the Sinister Six. And this is where it brings me to one of the things that gets me most excited for this, is because his involvement in Spider-Man 4, he could be the reason all of these villains are after Spider-Man. Again, if you want to hear about all those villains that are supposedly going to be involved in that film, check out that video I posted yesterday. But a specific part of this Cosmic Circus article mentions this. We're told that this will leave Fisk no choice but to likely outsource his matters to a number of contractors to handle the vigilante crisis in New York City. We've also been told that this is potentially a plot point for the upcoming Spider-Man 4 film. So, as I've mentioned in numerous videos before, Kingpin could be the one that actually kind of orchestrates the Sinister Six and assembles these villains. He could be the one that gives Scorpion his suit, that funds all these villains and sends them after these heroes like Spider-Man and Daredevil. And this could be a reason for Daredevil to team up with Spider-Man in Spider-Man 4, is because Kingpin is the one that is sending all these villains after him. Maybe even get some Punisher in here. Punisher and Spider-Man is another great crossover I'd love to see. Just look at how cool this is right here. Kingpin funding the Sinister Six. This is a great simulation, I guess you could call it, done with Marvel Legends action figures from the_collector_42 on Instagram. Definitely go follow them. They post some really cool content like this. I love this. Like, this idea is just so cool, and seeing it even just illustrated with action figures, it is just such a cool idea, and to see this in live action would be just mind-blowingly awesome and fun to see, and just such a cool idea that I really want to see done. So again, this could be like, Kingpin could be the reason all these villains are after Peter in Spider-Man 4. So I think that would work really well. And again, tying everything here nicely together with a neat little bow, that's how we want it to be done. So guys, Daredevil and Spider-Man and Punisher and Echo and both the Hawkeyes, they're going to be crossing over for this big street level. I don't know if we're going to actually get like a big crossover event like mini Avengers movies or movie with just this type of storyline, or if it'll all be concluded in like a Daredevil Born Again season 2 or Spider-Man 4 or something like that. I'm not sure how long this storyline will go on for, but it is looking like Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, is going to be the Thanos of the street level side of the MCU, which again, I just think is a brilliant, genius idea and route to take things on here. It's just going to be really cool, and I'm so excited for this. I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk Kingpin, so to see him take on such a huge role, it's awesome. It's going to be great, and I'm so excited for it. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this news that Kingpin could be the Thanos of the street level MCU, and what other street level Marvel heroes do you want to see involved in this storyline as well? I know another character that's rumored to be appearing in Daredevil Born Again is White Tiger. Get some White Tiger in here. That'd be pretty cool to see. You never know. Again, the possibilities are endless. Defenders. It's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for it. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything goes on in the Marvel life.